Alola! I'm the official name raider. My job is to look through the first page of Google, review the nicknames provided by the internet, and then give my recommendations at the end. Today we're looking at... oh shit, what's the baby one called? Oh, no, Crabrawler is the okay, Crabrawler is the baby one. Crabominable is the grown one. I was like, the big one's Crabrawler. What's the baby one? No, I got it backwards. Okay, it's not right here in front of my face. The Crabominable, not real. Crabrawler, Crabominable. And just a hot take for you, fuck off if you think it should be a water type. It doesn't fucking need to be. It's called Subverting Expectations. And we're back with Ranker. You can tell that this is not a very popular thing, or it's recent, or just the nickname suggestions suck, when the biggest one is 11 likes, and it's Yeti. Because that's pretty bad. Chad, that's not interesting either. White Claw, like, you can tell, man. They're struggling. Mr. Krabs, you're the SpongeBob. I don't care for it. Acknowledging it just because I know if I don't, someone in the comments will. First of all, it's spelled with a K. But, I don't know, just for me, 99% of SpongeBob jokes just, I don't think fit as Pokemon nicknames. There's a rare occasion where one shines through, but most of them just don't work. We can acknowledge Jack Frost. Haven't seen Jack Frost in a long time, but, you know, just the whole concept of season of winter and stuff like that. I think it's kind of strange that they chose to make him an ice type and a Yeti, but whatever, you do what you want. Captain Cold, that's the guy. I think he's like has an ice gun and he's a bad guy, the Flash. I remember him because of Injustice, so I recognize that. Frozone for more ice superhero villain nicknames, fictional references. I'm loving the 1-to-1 here. This is fantastic. It's only fair I acknowledge this one. So I remember I don't even remember what fucking episode, but it was like someone talked about Sub-Zero and it's like, oh, if we ever get an ice and fighting type, and someone left a comment and said, we do have one. It's Crabominable. And I was like, oh yeah, shit. Forgot. So this is kind of a reminder where even if you want to save your idea for a specific type and you're like, oh, this nickname would be great if we ever get a Pokemon of this typing, that doesn't always mean it's going to match what you envision. We have an ice and fighting, and it's a Yeti Crab. That is not Sub-Zero. But for the sake of it, Sub-Zero does work as usually a generic ice-type nickname. For me, I'm going to pick probably Beartic, I'd remember its name, for him because his animality is a polar bear. So that, to me, at least has an extra layer to it as to where Crabominable doesn't outside of typing. I'll be honest, I have no idea why I like butter sauce, but I really like that idea. Like, I think it's because it's tapping into my Cajun the Crawdaunt thing, maybe, but I don't know. I certainly don't look at Crabominable and think, oh, edible, but, you know, Crawdaunt, yeah. But butter sauce, I strangely like that one. So one thing I remember a lot about going through the Alola decks when I was first doing nicknames was how often we would see Denny. I do remember a lot of Denny back then. Denny was probably like the only one doing Alola nicknames. So now we're here with him again. And he does have the one I actually use. I'm pretty sure it wasn't Denny that gave me the idea, but Hawaiian Punch was the one where I was like, that's fucking clever, because it's fighting, it does the punch, it's from Hawaii, do you get it? That's really fucking good. I only question it because his says Hawaii Punch, and you can get rid of that tilde and add an N. So that's the one I remember liking. And then I guess Punchline for another one. I don't know if we saw it in the Hitmonchan episode, but I do feel like, I think what it was I did a randomizer and I used Hitmonchan on the team. I want to say it might have been my Fire Red randomizer, probably way back when, but that doesn't feel right because I'm pretty sure I used Heracross as my fighting type. I don't know. I know I used Hitmonchan, and Punchline was, maybe it was Diamond, or Platinum? I don't know. I know I used Hitmonchan, and I remember Punchline being the name. So I don't know if I mentioned the Hitmonchan episode or not, but there's just another generic fighting type nickname that can work for punchy things. So yeah, do I care for it? I mean, it's a solid 5 out of 10. Bouncer, I feel like maybe Denny might have given me that idea too, because I actually have that one written down as a, hey, you could throw this on generic fighting type Pokemon and it will work. So yeah, that's always been a thing. Again, I don't know, something about Crabominable just feels like it makes its design kind of harder to nickname, but an idea. I was actually, hold on, Control F this. I'm very interested in his reasoning behind Benihana, because, I don't know, something about that one. I know I have that one written down, and that has to be from him, because that's like the only skate trick I have written down. But yeah, that got me thinking about things like skateboarding. I grew up playing Tony Hawk and stuff, so I'm like, okay, well, what other Tony Hawk-based skate moves could you use as a nickname? Because that's just a whole nother thing as well. Like, there's another category of just funny names and stuff you could use. So I wish I knew what his reasoning for Benihana was, but I do have Benihana written down as a miscellaneous nickname that maybe one day I'll use. Just in case you guys need evidence or whatever, like, I know we haven't shown Pokemon.net off much. Here, refresh it because it's stupid. That was both Crabrawler and Crabominable. There are no results. Most of it have been like 3 or less. So again, Pokemon.net's probably not going to be featured much in Gen 7. Tundra, we see quite often as a generic Ice-type nickname. There's that for you. Another layer of Mortal Kombat, if you're that kind of Mortal Kombat nerd. Tundra was... There's 2 Sub-Zeros. The original from Mortal Kombat 1 who died, and then his younger brother who had the code name Tundra, but then picked up his older brother's nickname of Sub-Zero. So, Tundra, Sub-Zero, they're similar. Alright, well, I'm going to go ahead and end this here then, because that's telling me that that is not safe for the government. So thank you, tumpic.com tag, not going there. So if there is anything there and you guys want to take that bullet for me, feel free. But that's it as far as Crabominable and Crabrawler nicknames. I don't feel like there was anything too special. A lot of just generic ones. But again, for me, Hawaiian Punch is the one. If you can find one that's better, I'm open to change it, because although I like it for being clever, I don't know, I'm still just not in love with that name. I like it, but I feel like maybe I could do better. Spreadsheet, Little Mac, more punching, boxing thing. I've most likely seen this for Hitmonchan, probably too. Believe it or not, Mike and Tyson fit within the character limit. You could just call it Mike Tyson instead of doing one or the other. That's fucking stupid. And then we do have one comment suggestion, Umaro, after the Yeti in Final Fantasy VI. I don't Final Fantasy, so it's nice to, again, have other people with different interests aside from my own that can reference things that I'm not aware of. So here's just another one if that strikes your fancy. And since he's on the subject of Yetis, I feel like if you want to take inspiration, I mean, boxing is definitely a thing. So if you want to take a look at the Hitmonchan episode, see if that gives you more ideas, feel free. And if you want to think of other Yeti-based nicknames, there's an idea too. I feel like just the easy generic thing is just Twilight Princess with Yeto and Yeta. But in my opinion, those names are kind of fucking stupid, so I wouldn't recommend those. I don't remember what other Pokemon Yeto and Yeta brought up, but I know we've talked about them before too. So if there's something else that maybe might fit that in terms of ice theming, I would recommend that, but I don't know. Anyways, any other ideas and suggestions, feel free to put in the comments below. Give thumbs up to the ones you think are good. I liked butter sauce. Butter sauce was good.